What up, brothers? Welcome back to my channel for a really special review tonight on a figure, in fact on a set that I've been kindly lent by a good friend of mine in the 1/6 community, a fellow that goes by the name of Christopher Harris. It's been sent directly to me by Budget Stock, our man who can in Hong Kong. I've received it today, I've unboxed it, the unboxing video's on, and now it's time to review it. I will start off by saying it is a beauty, and I do want to go in depth on this review because I do feel it'll be one of the early ones up, and I don't want to leave any stone unturned. I want to give you some nice footage, show you everything that you might want to know, although I know there'll be questions after. Tell you everything, how to swap the parts out, what the articulation is like, score it up like I normally do, and tell you my final thoughts on it. As you can see, the figure in front of you is the new Hot Toys diecast Robocop. So, let's roll on, get some scores on the doors, figure out the categories I like and the categories I don't. Show you first, I've got the chair set up. We'll have him posed in that. You can see I've got the packaging in the background. So we'll start where we always start and do the source material. Obviously it's the original Robocop from the 1987 classic, I would say, for this genre film. I think it, when it came out, there was nothing really like it. It came out at a time where the special effects had sort of got to a stage where they could make a film like this and it not look cheap. Obviously over time, the effects that we see now, when you look back, there is certain ropey scenes, but I think for the time, it's sort of competition with films like Predator, I don't know, the Alien films had gone before that, Star Wars had sort of gone before it, so it sort of come, like I say, mid to late 80s, and it was just a breath of fresh air. I did enjoy it. It's a film I watched a lot of times. I will say, when I compare it to the original one, obviously the new one obviously has the cleaner effect, but I just think they watered the new one down. This is the Robocop to watch. I will also just mention Robocop 2 and 3. I don't really include them. I think they were just cash-in films. I dare say some people who do like Robocop will like them, but they're just not for me. The original Robocop is the one to watch. That's still the case, including the new one, like I said. And I still think this is the... I don't know, I would say it's not my favourite design suit, because I do prefer the new suit, but I would hold my hands up and say this is Robocop, so to speak. This is the classic design, and this is the one that leaves the lasting image, so to speak. Right, so, source material. When I watch the film now, I see it like every other cop action film, because obviously we've become desensitised to these special effects movies. We've seen it all before now. The ground's been broke, so now you watch it and I don't know, sometimes people watch it through rose-tinted glasses and it takes them back, they get the nostalgia. Sometimes, me in particular, I watch it and think, fucking hell, that clip looked ropey, or that background you can tell is superimposed onto it, that sort of thing. So, I've also said before, special effects aren't really my genre of films. I do prefer gangster films and probably thrillers, stuff like that. But I would still concede and score the source material a 4 out of 5. I would tempted to give it a 5 out of 5, but I think I would be trying to be true to you guys who love the film and not being true to myself. I personally see it as a good action film from the mid-80s, but I don't know, when I watch it now, it is showing its age. That's the point I'm trying to make. I'll just show you the first pose. I've got him clean version. Just with his gun up, himself balanced on his stand. Like I said, the chair set up. I'll go into depth on all this. I just wanted to show it before I pull them out of the way and talk about the packaging. Right, rolling on to the packaging. I'm going to try and do this quick because I get a funny feeling some of the other categories are going to take quite a while. I will say as well, excuse me, light, as you can see in the reflection through the plastic upper section of the box, but I wanted to leave the light on just to show the pearlescent effect on the lower box. So I will say, it has the feel of the die-cast figures that have come before. The War Machine, the Iron Patriot, which I didn't get, and the Mark 42, which I did get. Got a feel of that. The upper section, there's a split along here, as you can see. The upper section is the picture of him sat in the chair, and then it's wrapped in this really thick, hard-wearing feeling plastic. that is transparent, but it does have the white lines on, so it gives off the effect of depth in the box. If you look in there, it stands off it slightly. Like I say, here's a picture of the chair, and it is a nice shot. I would say it's the figure and not from the movie. And then the lower section, as you see the different colours going through. The texture is like a mild sandpaper effect. It does feel really nice, feels really classy. And then the wording, which says Robocop, is smooth. I'm not going to show you the back because there's nothing on it other than credits, but I will show you how it opens. So the top section slides up and off, and then inside we get this polystyrene inlay, or inner should I say, styrofoam depending on what part of the world you're in, with the Robocop name laser cut into it, with the mechanical chair or docking station in brackets. So I will say, really large box. Obviously it is heavy when full. Bear that in mind if you're trying to get shipping charges, but it is a nice looking box. The depth of the card does feel bulletproof. It's nearly thick enough to be classed as wood. It is really like a, listen, it is rock hard. You can hardly move the card, it's that thick. So when you're buying an expensive figure like this or an expensive set, you do want good packaging. You do get it with this. Very impressive looking, feels like it's heavy duty. So I am going to score it a 5 out of 5. Right, rolling on to likeness. And what I wanted to do before I show you the head is I wanted to show you the pose. As you can see, I've got him with the thigh opened, his gun poking out sort of thing, just popping out. He's about to grab it, and I've got him in sort of a quick draw pose. So I'll move him. I wanted to demonstrate, I wanted it to turn because I want you to see how the light moves across it. Sort of the pearlescent effect, where it's a flat silver, or that's how it looks, but as it moves you see the lilacs and sort of the shades of blue that go through them. Look at, really nice as it rotates. You see how the light changes. Really good paint job they've done on this. You see, really good. What I'm going to do in a minute is I'm going to put the camera on a tripod. I'm going to show you how you change out the mouth plates and just tell you my thoughts on the likeness in general. Taking into account it is a masked figure or an helmeted figure, but is the mouth plate strong enough to let you know who is underneath? And also, have they got the helmet proportions right to my eye? Before we do again, let's just move back. Just have a look at him coming round. Get in with that thigh open. Front bit comes forward, the side swings round, and his gun extends inside. He's got his hand ready to draw. That is beautiful. Oof. Let's get this on tripod. Right, so I'm going to show you how you swap out the plates. I'm going to show you all the different face plates you get and the two different helmet sections. Right, so I will say as well, this video is the first one that it's a combined video. Some are on my camcorder, which is now. Some sections will be filmed on my iPhone, which was the last section where it's rotating. So let's talk about how we change it out. First things first, the head. It's just, there's a magnet in the top of the head here which holds onto the inner head. It's just a basic, just a gentle wiggle and pull upwards. So that's what you get. It's the head section. Just moving around. I will say fingerprints is going to be a total nightmare on this figure. I'm forever like wiping it just to see if there's like dust settling. But so that is the clean sculpt. Inside you see the magnet, and this is, I've done this already once before. This is a little bit tricky, but I think over time it will loosen itself off. I'll just show you how the head looks. As you can see, it still has the section at the back that plugs into the interface. I will say as well, the head articulation on this is really good ball joints. Anyway, let's get back to the head. Right, the black jaw section, sort of this ear, which looks like the strapping or whatever, it pulls down slightly. So I just find if you put your thumb, hold the faceplate in place with your thumb, push it down slightly. So that's dropped away, which then allows you to sort of work the faceplate. It's supposed to slide it up, but it's not easy to do. Just excuse me. Yeah, just work it loose, and then you see you've got the weird looking faceplate, obviously because there's no lower nose section, and that just, you see these grooves here, that slides down this central groove, which if I, you see down there, that's where the faceplate goes. So I put a short pause in there, and what I'll do is I'll put in the next, in fact I'll show you the mouth plates, and then I'll interchange them. So these are what you've got. You've got the one with the teeth showing, you've got the one with the mouth slightly open, and then you've got the one with his lips pursed. I don't know what expression I would say. Sucking his teeth, I would think. So we'll open these up, and we'll select a mouthpiece. We'll go with his Kiss Me Teeth. So like I say, you slide that down into position. Like I said, these have probably been in box a while, so they are hard to do. You put the faceplate in, bring the jaw up around over his chin. Oops. And then stand up, you bitch. And then the helmet just drops down into place, which is normally pretty easy, but I'm stood quite far away from the figure. There you go. So that's it, drops down into place. As you can see, he's got the new expression on. It's a good one. So again, just wiggle off the helmet, drop down the jaw, and then that will come out nice and easy. I think what we'll do is just quickly look at this one with his mouth slightly open. Sometimes a little bit awkward because I'm not right up to it, so you can't see if you've got it in line properly. That's it, I think. And then again, we'll use this helmet. That's it. Again, that's with the, I don't think I've got the chin section right on that, but you get the idea. And I think what we'll do now is pop it down, take that one off. And I think we'll go for the battle damage section. Drop that right in. That's it, that's right in. And then we'll go for the battle damaged helmet. Again, drop it down. And there you go. So, pretty easy to do. Obviously, it would be easy if you weren't trying to film yourself doing it. We'll just show the, if you look in through the visor, you can see his eye in there. I will say again, the teeth do look whiter on camera than they would in hand, simply because it's got an LED light from about an inch away. The battle damage does look good. I think the helmet proportions look good in general anyway, and I do see Weller in the mouth plates. I think they've done a really good job with it. I said before on the '89 Batman, you could tell it was Michael Keaton underneath, although you only saw a small portion of the face. That's the same with this. I think it is really strong, particularly like this mouth and the neutral mouth, or the closed mouth, whatever you want to call it. I do think they're very characteristic, and I'd be more than happy to give the likeness a 5 out of 5. rolling on to the outfit. Now, first things first, show you the pose. Got him leg bent, sort of staggering forward, not walking as such. Moving up, you can see he's got the left hand flat, trying to stabilise himself. Moving up, you can see a reverse arch in his back. And the gun just falling off his finger, like he's being shot at, or like he's malfunctioning. He's got on the battle damaged chest plate and the battle damaged helmet. You can see the eye inside there. I will say at the moment I am filming on the iPhone. Like I said, I will be moving backwards and forwards because obviously the iPhone won't go onto a tripod. So I'm going to mix and match it up. You can tell me which sections you like better. But I will try and get you, like I say, a comprehensive look at the figure, whatever way I decide to film. So, nice pose I will say. Do kind of like it. And the outfit is stunning, I've got to be honest. In hand, it's just so much better than you expect it to be. I will cover the articulation shortly, where it will just be in a straight upright pose. But while I'm covering the outfit, I'm pretty much just talking about how it looks. So the battle damage is really nice. I will say as well at this point, the paintwork is awesome. But there is sort of, every now and again, you see not swirls, but yeah, maybe swirls. I think these will be probably painted, spray painted or airbrush painted. And I think sometimes you can see where the paint began or ends, so to speak. If I show you, where is it? I think it's on the other helmet. But you notice it in a few places. Now, it's not messy and you can't see it, obviously, when it stood on your shelf. But if you're looking at it, you're clearly expecting, you're looking for it sort of thing, you're inspecting it, you will see paint swirls. Now, I don't think it's a bad thing. I just think it is what it is. Bring it in there. I will say as well, when I'm filming with iPhone, it's normally a little bit shakier than if I film with the camcorder, just simply because of how your hands hold it. So, see the OCP, yeah, Police 001, really, really nice. I will say that it's not as much die-cast as I expected it to be. There is, I would say, if I were to break it into a percentage, I would probably say there's probably 30% die-cast, maybe 70% metal. Sorry, 70% plastic, 30% die-cast. I'm not going to start tapping on it with a screwdriver or whatever because it's not my figure, and I don't know, I just don't want to risk scratching it up. But like I say, if you don't expect it all to be die-cast, then you're not going to be disappointed. But it is certainly a nice looking figure, and to the eye, you can't see where the plastic starts and the die-cast ends. Can't get my fucking words out today for some reason. I'm getting hungry and I'm very tired. But anyway, sorry about that. Let's just move this around a touch because I'm showing this wording again on the helmet. The OCP Police 001. Really, really nice. Right, there's not too much I can really talk about the outfit without going into the articulation. So I'm going to give you a score on how the outfit looks. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. Now what I'm going to do is move into how the outfit moves and interchanging the back and putting in the batteries and also swapping out the chest section. Right, rolling on to the articulation. Now I'm not putting him in a pose, he's just straight up and down, simply because I want to try and go through all the articulation points, just to basically show you what to expect, what not to expect. So, we'll start off at the head. I've already showed you how the faceplate swap on and off. So it's basically on you've got a neck stem inside with a ball joint at the top and then one at the bottom. The articulation is really, really good. Look at the movement, it'll swing all the way around. You can get it some really natural movement. I will say inside there, the lower section of the neck, there is like an Iron Man style black rubber collar, so that comes up sort of out of the chest section and makes it look really accurate. So the articulation on that is really, really good. Moving to the upper arm. Now the upper arm is very Mark 42 also. It will pop out to there and pop out to there. It will go to 30 degrees there. I'm being as careful as I can with this because, like I've said before, it is Chris's figure and I don't want to fuck it up. And bearing in mind, I've warmed these joints in, and by that I mean, first time I did it, all I'm doing basically is I'm creeping the joints in and out, just to basically, if there's any paint that's dried inside, or the warm atmosphere or the cold climate or whatever, the material sometimes expand and contracts, that sort of thing. So when you're warming a figure in, don't try and just fucking rag it out like that. Just work it out. Get a little bit of tender loving care. Treat it like your woman, you know what I mean? Because then you're not going to see pictures all over Facebook with people with fucking arms snapped off. So let's think about these. Handle with care. They're lots of pennies. So, like I said, bearing in mind, I have done all that. Now the arm will come forward. It is new. So remember, it is stiff. The arm will fully rotate, although I'm only going to go to that because that's probably as high as you want to go. It will do that, obviously, on both sides. Like I say as well, if you have extended the shoulder stem, you see that. That is unsightly to me, but it makes it articulate. Like I say, you can go like that. It don't really go forward and back. It will tip in, although it doesn't look right. So yeah, there is movement inside the shoulder. Just moving down to the elbows. Now I would say the elbows are the tightest joints on this figure. So I would recommend you hold the top of the arm and this metal section here, just below here, what I'm touching. Hold the bicep and that, and slowly bend it, and it will only go to that. That is the extent of that there. Now, bear in mind, the suit, I think, I'll say this at this point, the suit in real life, I think, would only be as articulated as this. So I am taking this into account because I won't want it to bend all the way up there. But credit to Hot Toys, because what they've done to sort of help your arm bendability, I suppose is a word. This section here, what I'm holding, sort of the forearm, it's a soft, pliable rubber. Look at me nipping it there, you see? And there is movement. Dip. Let me show you. Dip, curl it upwards, curl it inwards, curl it outwards. So there is also movement in that, and it just feels like rubber wrapped around sort of a ball joint somewhere in here. So it does move, and it always looks good because it's black inside. So I've got to say, on the arm, it's better articulation than I thought, but handle with care, because these are that stiff that you don't want to fuck your hinges up in there where my fingers are touching. This here, as you can see, is soft rubber. So obviously that's same on both hands, both arms. Down again. The hands articulated, same as the Iron Man hands. We've pretty much all seen those. I will say as well, they are plastic, so be careful, because obviously if the fingers are plastic, then the hinge section will be plastic as well. So be careful. One thing I don't like actually on this, and I will mention it here with the hands. You have to use an articulated hand to hold the gun. I wish they would have included a right gun holding soft rubber hand. Yeah, just simply for ease, because sometimes it's hard to sort of put a gun in that, trap it with the thumb, wrap the lower fingers around it, and then get the upper finger into the trigger. So just I thought I'd just mention that. Let's get it back, the shot set up. Right. Ab section. That is extended. You see there's a separation there which will allow you to crunch. Let's do this right. Look, crunch, arch back, crunch, arch back. Pretty good, I've got to say. Also, let's just turn him back round. Also rotate, and the other way. Good rotation. Like I say, really nice. There is also a split here, but I've tried to extend it, and this is the only place it's separating, but the book says there's a separation here, but I'm not getting it, and I'm not pulling it to the point where it fucks it up. So it might crunch more than that, but that is the only separation I see. So just mention that. Again, really good and better than I expected. Now what I'm going to do is move the figure up a step, and let's talk legs. For this, I'm going to just raise him up so that the stand's holding him. Right, let's move his hands out of the way slightly. Now, his legs here, they've got stems in them that will pull sort of down out of the there. I will say the sound of it fucking turned my stomach, because I'm thinking that is very noisy. It don't come out as far as the arms do, but it does allow good articulation in there. Once it's out, you can bring the leg up to a decent height. And then this is one joint I really do like, the ratchet on the knee. And it will go to there. I will also say there's a little bit of side movement in the knee as well. Really, really good knee joints, because they feel solid as a rock as well. I will say as well, because it's worth a mention, when you're opening this, which I will do, you've got to have the knee slightly bent to bring this kneecap section out of the way. So if we go to there, you've also got to have it in the correct position as regards his hip. There's a little latch there, central on the leg. Pop that open, so you just push it back and round him. This front part pulls forward on a slider. If you feel like it's not moving, you need to move the leg slightly, like so. That pops forward, and then the gun slides out. At this stage, I will mention that you do get two guns. You get a lightweight plastic gun, which has got more detail on it, and is the one that he poses in the hand. The die-cast one, which is really, really heavy, but not so detailed, that is the only one that will fit into his leg holster. And it just drops down into there, pushes back, and then you can push his front part of his leg, swing his side bit round. Like I say, pretty easy. I have done it a couple of times, so now it has not loosened up, but it's nice. It's real nice. Just moving down. Another bit of articulation that I really do like is, if I click his leg, the foot. There's not so much side to side tilt, but there is good. When you move that back, it pushes the piston up into here. When you extend it, again, it brings the piston out. I do get a feeling that they would be sideways, but it's really tight. And also, the toe section is kind of spring loaded. It will move if you're posing it, but then it pops back, listen. And the foot all feels metal. So, that is pretty much the articulation. Let's bring him down, put some weight on stand. That next thing I will show you while I'm here, in fact, let's bring him forward again. This might be a long section, but I don't mind treating you every now and again. Right, the sections, this chest, you don't need the magnet to take it out. On top you see he's got these two wrist rings on each shoulder. You pretty much just grab hold of them, pull them forward, and then at his sides just pulls out as well. I will say, as you can see, the magnet section's there and in there, and he's really smooth, but he's got a speaker there. And I will say both chest plates, as you can see, does have an hole so the sound can come through, and then that's the clean one. And obviously that just push the shoulder section into place. That is it. Really, really easy. Now, what I am going to do is put a short pause in. I'm going to turn it around and I'll show you where the batteries go and where the switch is for his sound effects. Right, as you can see, I've got him turned around. You do get this little magnet stem. All you do is touch it onto the back part on his left shoulder blade, and that brings out the casing. Here is the battery section. The screw is there, and then you put in two of the camera size batteries that I showed you on the unboxing. Put them in. Down here is a little switch, so we'll switch it on.
Serve the public trust.
When you switch it,
protect the innocent. Uphold the law.
when you turn it on, it will make a noise. And then you do get this Robocop and the letter B and O. You press that, this red light will come on. It will if I switch this on as well. You get the batteries for this, you don't get the batteries for this or the chair, so I have put them in.
Stay out of trouble. Drop the gun, you are under arrest. Dead or alive, you're coming with me. Come quietly or there will be trouble. Thank you for your cooperation. Good night. Serve the public trust. Protect the innocent. Uphold the law. Stay out of trouble.
So you've got a few phrases for you to listen to. Not much more I can say. The articulation is better than I thought it were going to be. It is, in some places it's what I expected. In other places it's so much better. And I do commend Hot Toys for that, because they're really pushing the boat out with these figures. I saw the faulty Enter Bay one where the hand were falling apart and the electrics didn't work. That's not the case with this, or from what I've seen. And like I said, I think the proportions are really good, particularly sort of the head to the width of the shoulder and the chest section. The bulk of the legs, it does look like there could be a possible man inside it. I do like that, particularly as well when the midsection is extended, because when it first comes out of the box, it looks a little bit short and stocky, but you extend it and the proportions look right, or they do to me. So I'm going to give the articulation. It's better than I expected, and I think it's as articulated as the real suit. But if I were to compare it to a True Type, a Luke Skywalker, or a Spider-Man or whatever, then you would obviously see that there is movements that he can't make. So I've got to be realistic and say I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5, because like I said, it is awesome for what it is. For an Iron Man or a Robocop or that type of figure, it is really, really articulated, but you still couldn't compare it to a True Type, which would get a 5. So I am going to give the articulation a 3 out of 5. Right, rolling on to accessories and extras. And this is a funny one, because I don't know whether to score it as a single figure, what would the Robocop on his own bring, or do I score it as the set? Because it is the set that I've got, and because the price it's costing warrants it, I am gonna review it as the set. So we're classing the chair as an accessory. So let's quickly have a look. There is some assembly involved, so bear that in mind when you've got to do it. There is also some of them fucking dreaded stickers, if I show you down there. I've used 2 for the art monitors on there. There is movement through that, but I'm not going to start messing about. The wiring all just connect to the underside of the chair, but on that, what you attach, and also on the Robocop monitor, you can see the wires are still coiled up at the back, because I didn't want to attach them and then not get them out. You can see there is light sort of in this area and under his arm there. There is batteries on the inside of the chair and the switches underneath. I will say as well at this point, I think if I'd jiggle him about a little bit more, his feet will go on this plate, but because I don't want to sprain the articulation, I have just left him sat like that. It does look comfortable, and he does look quite sweet in the chair, so it is a nice touch. I was told there's a lot of fiddly parts, and that is the case. You've got to be really careful. The arm, there is movement through the armrest. They will move forward and back, and the monitor will move also. I think you can also move that up and down. Now, on the side here, there's a button that you can see here. If you press that, then this section will pop out. I would recommend you don't do that while Robocop's sitting in the chair, because it will just fall apart and you'll have your Robocop flat on his foss, and you don't want that. Right, moving down, you get the stand that I think works really well for this figure. It doesn't light up, and it is very, very similar to the DX10, so bear that in mind. Moving down, instruction manual, definitely read that. Probably read it before you even get the figure out of the box. It's worth knowing how to fit the batteries, how to swap the head on and off, and so on and so forth, I would definitely recommend it, because like I said, you don't want to be that sucker on Facebook with arms hanging off your figure. Moving down, the battle damage chest piece, which is really well done. I do like that. A nice option. The battle damage helmet, which again I do like. Just battle damage enough. I will show you actually. Inside there you can see that fleshy section. That is the inside of the eye, but I'm probably out at light, so I'm not going to pick it up this time. Yep. This is the stem that grabs his back section, so you can get to the battery casing. The hand with the data spike, which I haven't used yet. The two sculpted fists. That is his sort of display or posing pistol. The die-cast one is still inside his leg. I will say on this one, the cartridge does pull out, and also it does cock. And it is a nice piece, and I think the scale is really good. Like I say, a little bit fiddly to get into that articulated hand, but once it's in there, it does look really good. That's the remote section. There's a switch on top. Like I say, you do need batteries inside there, but the batteries are supplied for that. They're not supplied for Robocop or the chair. You press the B and the O, and he will talk, as I displayed earlier. And then finally, the three face plates, which is the one with the mouth just open, the one with the mouth wide open, mouth closed, and then the pursed lips like he's kissing Lady Robocop. So, I think that is a good set of extras. So I am going to score it, again, a 5 out of 5. It does bring a lot. But from there, I'm going to roll on to the value. Now, I don't know exactly what Chris paid Anthony for this figure. It's not my business. And if I knew, I wouldn't tell you anyway, because I think I think that's between the individual. I will say I checked before this review, and Tim Sense got this set in stock, and it is just over £350, I think. Is it worth £350? Nah. I'm not sure. In my mind, I would say no, and for this reason. I like the figure. I really like the figure. I think it would look awesome displayed if you get a nice pose. You get the fittings that you want, as in the mouth plate and the chest and helmet. Get him with his gun, it would look awesome. Now, if you can get a Robocop on his own for about £200, then I would have given the value a pretty good score. But because you're basically paying another 150, 160 quid for the chair, not a lot of people are going to be able to display that chair, I don't think. Not because it wouldn't fit in the detail, because it would. But you're pretty much going to have only that figure on the shelf in his chair. I don't think the chair is involved enough, and by that I mean there could be a few more lights. There could be a flashing light inside the art monitors. There is just them two spotlights at the side, and then like I said, the TV down here. It just doesn't do enough for me to warrant that being the same price as a figure. So that is my point on it. So if Chris did pay, if he did pay the $350 or somewhere around that, then I would only give the value, I don't know, I'm not going to cane it, because I don't know, it is a set, and I'm trying to think of something else that would go for that. I don't know, I can't think off the top of my head, but I'm thinking the value would be a 3 out of 5. If you could get a Robocop on his own for 200, then I would have moved the value up probably to a 4 out of 5. And that is what I would be hoping for. If I do pick up the Robocop, which having now seen it, I probably will, but I'm not in a rush to get it. There's things I'd want before it. If I could get one for around 200, then I would probably snap it up, and I would think I've paid around a good price. And I will say it will be available with the UK sellers, but I don't think it'll be a lot less than 200. So that is my thoughts on the value and the extras. So like I said, the extras I give a 5 out of 5, which you pretty much can't argue with. And the value, I've only given it a 3 out of 5. Now, that gives the overall score of a 30 and a possible 35, which is a really good score, I think, bearing in mind I wouldn't have wanted the chair. But yeah, I've got to say, in fact, what I'll do is I'll do one more pose, and I'll do my thank yous. So that basically draws to the end another review. Really enjoyed doing it. It's always nice when I can see a figure before I even buy it myself, and it's nice that people trust me with the merchandise or the figures or the collection or whatever you want to call it, because I don't see it happening to many people. And I am lucky. I know I'm lucky. I know I'm trustworthy, because I think people trust me with the figures because they know there's no danger that I'm going to say to Chris tomorrow, I'm not sending you Robocop, I'm fucking keeping it, cheers for that. I just would never do it, and I think that's why people trust me. I think also people do value my opinion. Some don't, and probably some get sick of fucking hearing my voice. But to the guys who do like me and always stick with me, I've got to thank you, because it does mean a lot. Like I say, I have reviewed figures now for a lot of guys, and including Budget Stark here, Chris, Bruce, Wazim, a lot of others, Wyman, Matt, Lee Ward, a lot of people. And there's loads of other, Owen, with his Grinch and Freddie Mercury, the value of some of these figures that they're letting me see. And I don't know why they do it, but they do it for a reason. I hope I make them happy when I do the reviews. But yeah, thanks to everybody who supports my channel, helps my channel. I were in a lobby actually on Saturday night, and Morris said to me, "You're doing it big." And I actually said to him, "What do you mean my channel's doing good views, or I'm putting weight on?" Which I was trying to pass off as a joke, because I do see my channels getting elevated, my subscribers are going up, my views are going up, and it is down to community effort, and I am humbled by it, and I'm grateful for it, because there's a lot of other good reviewers out there. I know I try and pass myself off as best and this, that and other, and it's mainly tongue-in-cheek. I do think I do a good job, if I'm honest, but I don't think I'm any better than anyone else. I just go in depth and I tell you what I see. So again, like I said, thanks to Chris, thanks to Anthony, Budget Stark, massive shout out to you guys. Thanks to you guys for watching. If you haven't subscribed to me already, please do so. Please like the video, share it, do whatever you can. I think we'll throw in one more pose because I'm fucking loving it, and then we'll get out of here. You're lucky today, I'm treating you. Uncle Clipper's treating you at all. Bit more robo than you expected. So this is your final pose, you lucky bastards. Don't forget what I do for you. Looking where it doesn't need to look where he's shooting that lad. Once he's got his target set up, he fucking knows what's happening. He's strutting on down that street, he is. Look at that, that's beautiful. Shooting off to the side. Fucking Clarence Boddicker, watch out. Anyway, that's Robocop. Thanks Chris, thanks Anthony. For now guys, this is Robo and Uncle Clip, and we are out of here.